Join me as I dive into a wild love story where I try to figure out how to give her the space she wanted while still chasing after her. Love is a complex web of emotions, desires, and needs. It's a delicate dance between two individuals, where sometimes you're in perfect harmony, and other times you're completely out of sync. Today, I want to share a story with you that embodies this push and pull, where one person craves space and independence, while the other feels compelled to pursue and hold on tight. Imagine being in a relationship where you feel like you're walking on eggshells, never quite knowing what the other person needs or wants. That's what it was like for Alex and Maddie. They were deeply in love, but their approaches to relationships couldn't be more different. Alex needed his freedom, his alone time, and his space to think. He felt suffocated when Maddie would get too clingy or demanding. On the other hand, Maddie felt abandoned and unloved when Alex would pull away or not respond to her calls. She needed constant reassurance, affection, and attention. As time went on, the tension between them grew. Alex would try to create distance, only to have Maddie feel like she was losing him. She'd reach out, trying to bridge the gap, but Alex would feel like she was suffocating him. It was a vicious cycle, with neither of them knowing how to break free. The more Alex pulled away, the more Maddie felt the need to chase after him. And the more she chased, the more he felt like he was running from her. Their friends would often tell them that they were just not compatible, that their approaches to relationships were too different. But Alex and Maddie couldn't help how they felt. They were drawn to each other like magnets, and they couldn't imagine being with anyone else. The problem was, they were both stuck in their ways, refusing to budge or compromise. Maddie came from a family where affection was scarce, so she craved it in her relationships. She needed to feel loved and wanted, and when Alex pulled away, it triggered all her deep-seated fears of abandonment. Alex, on the other hand, grew up with parents who were always fighting, so he learned to value his independence and personal space. He didn't know how to deal with Maddie's clinginess, and it made him feel trapped. One day, Maddie realized that she'd been chasing Alex for months, trying to get him to commit, to love her back. But in that moment, she realized that she'd been suffocating him, pushing him further away with every text, every call, and every visit. She took a step back, giving him the space he needed, and waiting to see if he'd come back to her. The day of reckoning finally came when Alex realized that he'd been running from his own emotions, from the fear of being trapped, from the fear of losing himself in the relationship. He saw how his actions had affected Maddie, how she'd been chasing after him, trying to get him to love her back. And in that moment, he knew he had to make a choice. He could keep running, or he could face his fears and work through them with Maddie. In the end, Alex learned that sometimes, giving someone space doesn't mean you don't care about them, it means you care about yourself, too. And Maddie learned that sometimes, you have to let go of your need for control and trust that the other person will come back to you when they're ready. Their story is a wild ride, full of twists and turns, but it's also a reminder that love requires compromise, understanding, and a willingness to grow together. I hope you guys took something away from this crazy love story. Remember, relationships are all about finding that delicate balance between your own needs and the needs of your partner. Don't be afraid to share your own experiences in the comments below, and if you want more love stories and relationship advice, be sure to check out my other videos.